Brawl Stars esports might be getting one of its biggest upgrades ever. We still have the four major regions, but the entire competitive system is changing. And honestly, if this works the way it sounds, competitive Brawl Stars could look completely different than what it is right now. So in this video, I'm going through everything we know about the new system so far, what it could mean for teams and organizations, and why this could be one of the most important esports updates Brawl Stars has ever had. Let's get into it. First, one of the biggest changes. Competitive Brawl Stars is being split into two separate circuits. The four major regions are still there, so the regional side of Brawl Stars esports isn't disappearing. But instead of the old structure, there will now be a clearer competitive ladder. At the top, you have BSC, where the best teams will be competing. Then, underneath that, you have the Challenger circuit, which acts as another major level of competition just below the main ones. And this is where things get really interesting, because these two circuits aren't completely separated. Teams can actually move between them. So, for the first time, it sounds like the BSC is introducing a much more serious promotion and relegation system. If you're a strong team in challenges, you could go into like the top level of the BSC. But if you're already at the top level of the BSC and like the top 8 teams, there's possibly a chance you get moved down into challenges. But I'll talk more about this later. Another huge change is that there are apparently going to be no more monthly finals in the traditional format. In each month, there will be 4 weeks where every single team will play every single week. This means that every team will play 4 times a month, which will be insane because if you're anything like me, you always want more BSC. Each team will play against a different one every week, so we'll see a much better way for matches to be organized and much more matches being played. If you want to see why this current format has a lot of flaws, check out Kaishu's video. I think that's how you say it. It's really good, and I'll link the video in the description. Now, let's talk about challenges, because this is probably where the new system gets the most interesting. There's going to be like 12 different subregions, I believe, in challenges, which is a much wider structure than just having the four main BSC regions. It will also give more teams from around the world a proper pathway into the top level of the competition, which is always a good thing. Winning a challenges final, which are going to be held twice throughout the entire year, will mean that your team would get promoted into the BSC. Previously, breaking into the absolute top level of Brawl Stars esports can be incredibly difficult, especially for newer teams with no connections. But now there seems to be a much clearer progression, where basically anyone can apply for challenges and try get into the top flight through there. But of course, it goes both ways. If you lose the challenges final, you could end up moving down into the challenges league or circuit or whatever. So there's constant pressure at both levels. The best challenges team are trying to fight their way up, and the teams at the bottom of the top circuit are trying to desperately not fall down. And this brings us to what might be the most important and exciting part of the entire update. The bottom few BSC teams, we've seen it to be two, but that can change apparently. However, those bottom teams have to play in the Challengers final, which are two each year. This means that they aren't just safe because they're already at the top. If you finish near the bottom, you have consequences, and you have to prove that you deserve to stay. This means that once a team is out of LCQ and World's contention, there's still stuff to play for to avoid getting relegated, which previously, in the previous format, this just wasn't there, and it could lead to some kind of stale fights occurring where monthly finals would end up being useless and teams just wouldn't try. However, the changes aren't just happening online. The Brawl Cup is getting a massive upgrade, along with every other LAN event. Now, we don't know every single detail about exactly what these upgrades will look like, but the important part is there seems to be a much bigger focus on making in-person events feel like genuinely major esports occasions. And honestly, that's something that the BSC could really benefit from, because that's where you get all the big moments where the crowd is there, there's pressure, there's players, you can see them reacting in real time, and it just is much more hype than an online match. So if the Brawl Cup is being upgraded and the other LAN events are too, that could be a much better experience for both the players and the fans. And it should also mean that winning these events will be a lot more prestigious. And additionally, LAN events are coming to other countries, so I'm hoping for a UK World Finals. That's what I'm looking for right now, you know what I'm saying? There's also some good news if you're an org or if you're affiliated to any orgs. There's going to be new updates for organizations looking to enter the partner program. I don't know exactly what it is. They said it's going to be coming in the near future. They're going to reveal it. So keep your eyes peeled on the event.brawlstars website for more info on that. But honestly, I think this is a pretty good change because previously orgs don't really have the best pathway to get into the partner program, and that can dissuade a lot of the larger orgs, which of course decreases popularity of the BSC. But I think this change is going to really help. And now finally, onto what I think is going to be the most important thing for most people watching this. There's going to be a lot of improvements to third-party infrastructure, which I think just means match arena tournaments, which are just tournaments held by another website. And it has some decent infrastructure, like it allows you to make like those custom tournament matches. But I think having an inbuilt like integration, like improving that infrastructure, it's gonna make hosting match arenas, playing in match arenas, all of that much better and much more interesting. So overall, this update sounds massive. We've still got the four main regions, but now there are two separate leagues. Monthly finals are being removed. Challenges is expanding to much more regions and becoming a more clearer pathway into the top flight of competition. The bottom teams in the top 8 can be forced down into challenges. Brawl Cup and LAN are getting upgraded. Organizations are getting more representation. And third party infrastructure is also being improved. Are you excited about the new league format and the promotion relegation system? Or do you think the old monthly finals were better? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more Brawl Stars esports content. I'm trying to hit 5k. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.